Hello everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing well. Welcome, welcome. Tonight we have some interesting topics to talk about. A couple that we've discussed in the past, obviously. We've talked about Blizzard a couple of times at this point, but of course there's more news to that I wanted to discuss. Also, we're going to be touching on the VCS again. I've talked about it quite a few times at this point, but more great news in terms of that. But before we get into the articles and everything, I'm gonna check out chat for a couple of minutes and talk to you guys before we get into everything. Make sure everyone is here. But welcome to stream, everyone. Trying to wrap up Cold Steel 2, the final dungeon. Very nice. Cold Steel 3 comes out this week, doesn't it? There are a lot of games that are coming out this week. I mean, we have Modern Warfare on Friday, we have The Outer Worlds, which is on Friday. Cold Steel 3 comes out Friday as well, I believe. There was one other game. What was it? I don't remember. I feel like there was like one other big title that was coming out on Friday, though I don't remember what it was. We're definitely in the midst of like all of the large releases coming out right now. You know, I mean, like October to November usually is that time frame because companies are trying to put out their titles for the holidays. So like this is their sweet spot because they can get people that wanted to purchase it, but they also can get people that are like starting to holiday shop, and also their titles will be available for like Black Friday. So even though, you know, they might go down $20 or so, even though they're new titles, they still are making a huge chunk of money off of that. Oh, Ryza, that comes out this week too. So many games. So little time to play the games. Mess with the waifu, you get the naifu. Wow, Frank, that is pure poetry, my friend. That is pure poetry. Frank, I never knew you were a poet. Hello, Daryl. How are you doing? I hope that your night is going well. Welcome, everyone, to the live stream. We will get into the topics in just a minute. Stupid boss killed me like 3 times in a row. Wait, what game? Oh, that's right. You are playing Code Vein, aren't you? You got Code Vein. Congratulations, my friend. How are you enjoying it so far? In my personal playthrough of Code Vein, I am quite far in. I mean, on the, you know, stream playthrough as well, I'm pretty far into the game as well. I think I'm about halfway or so for the stream playthrough itself. I'll probably stream it another time or two. I will have a review on Code Vein coming up soon. I really just wanted to like play through most of the game before I did like a full review on it, but I've played through the game in my personal playthrough pretty quickly, but I will have like a video review on that soon. I have enjoyed it. Let's just put it at that. It has been probably one of the better games of the year. Probably one of the better games of the year. There's still a couple of games that I'm kind of playing through, or games that I'm interested in that come out this year, but I feel like at this point we're kind of practically through the year, besides, of course, you know, some of the larger titles. I'm really sad that Doom Eternal is not releasing this year. I was expecting to play that in November, and I was honestly expecting Doom Eternal to most likely be my game of the year. I was very excited for it, but they held it back to, what is it, March? So it is what it is. I mean, as much as I would have loved for, you know, Doom Eternal to come out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so, I'm not too fazed by it. I am perfectly okay with waiting as long as it's good. As long as it's got the content that it needs. As long as they, you know, fix what needs to be fixed and they didn't rush it too much. I'm okay with it. Let me check chat. Are you going to still get Call of Duty Modern Warfare? I have asked in Discord, and I probably will ask on Twitter. Basically, I want to gauge people's reactions because on one hand, I understand how kind of people and myself feel with Blizzard at this point, but it's already pre-ordered, and I do know that I do have a large audience that want to watch it. you know, it's one of those situations where I wasn't expecting Blizzard to, you know, do what they did and respond in the way that they did. So I haven't, you know, taken many steps in that regard. But I actually talked about a situation today, if you guys have not seen today's video, where a situation similar to Blitzchung's situation happened at a Magic the Gathering Mythic Championship over the weekend, where a player had actually came out on stage. He was wearing a mask, and he also had made a statement about how it feels great to play Magic the Gathering as a free man because he is from Hong Kong. So Wizards of the Coast responded in a fantastic way by saying nothing at all. So if you have not seen that video, please check it out. It is a video I think a lot of people should see. It's a very important video, you know, seeing how a company should act instead of, you know, disproportionately punishing people, you know, for just voicing things that directly affect their lives. But it is what it is. Hey, everyone's still hiring for a new Avril sidekick. Mundane, you don't need an Avril sidekick. You are good enough, my friend. Yes, very, very good response by Wizards of the Coast, in my opinion. I think that they did the right thing, and that was just to simply not respond and not make a big deal out of it. I think that was it's great of them. But we are going to get into the topics in 1 second. Atlas laid off employees and shut down online store. Just tweeted it. Really, Red? Really? I was gonna say I hadn't seen it until that last part. Wow, I will definitely have to check that out. Twitter, unfortunately, is being a pain in the ass and not loading. Of course. I will definitely have to check that out, though, after the live stream. But yes, let us get into the topics for tonight. The first topic that I wanted to discuss was Blizzard again. I know I've talked about Blizzard quite a few times, but the saga continues, and I don't want to push, you know, it constantly down people's throats, though this is a pretty big, you know, addition to the situation. Lawmakers have expressed their deep concern over Blizzard's Hong Kong protest response, a rare bipartisan issue that Rep. AOC and Senator Rubio can agree on. One of the few things. Also, guys, let me know if the music's too loud. It should be good, though. A bipartisan group of Senate and House lawmakers have signed a letter expressing deep concern over Activision Blizzard's recent decision to punish Blitzchung after the professional Hearthstone player expressed support for continuing Hong Kong protests last week. This decision is particularly concerning in the light of the Chinese government's growing appetite for pressuring American businesses to help stifle free speech, the letter read in part. Like I mentioned it a couple minutes ago, though, I did talk about a similar situation that happened today, like I said, with the Magic the Gathering player in turn practically doing almost the same thing as Blitzchung and receiving no punishment by Wizards of the Coast, which I think is a proper response. Blizzard originally banned the Hong Kong-based player for a year and withheld his prize money after he said, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age" in Chinese during the live-streamed event. That penalty was later reduced to 6-month suspension, and his prize money was reinstated. They had also fired the casters originally, and then they decided to unfire the casters. Yeah, they decided to unfire the casters. Yeah, what a situation, Blizzard. Honestly, I think that Blizzard just reacted far too quickly. They didn't gauge the situation. But the letter, addressed to Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, urges Blizzard in the strongest terms to reconsider your decision, to respect him. You have the opportunity to reverse, of course. We urge you to take it. Now, a lot of players as well have been pretty on the fence with the situation. Now, yes, the 1 year was completely awful and ridiculous, and rescinding his prize money was absolutely ridiculous. The 6 months, I feel as though a lot of people are kind of on the fence about, because, yes, he really didn't deserve to get a 6-month suspension, but he did also, like, violate his contract as far as we know. Like, he had a contract. Well, he obviously had a contract, but he wasn't supposed to say things like that, so really we don't know the full details of his contract, so that is why people are thinking they're upholding the 6 months and why they didn't just completely remove the, you know, the punishment in total. But people are, I mean, look, lawmakers are telling Blizzard you should just go back now before it's too late, basically. The letter is signed by an unlikely group of legislators who often spar publicly on major legislative issues. Ron Wyden, Marco Rubio, AOC, Mike Gallagher, and Rep. Tom Malinowski. It's quite a shocking group of people, honestly. I mean, how many things do you think their names are signed on where they're actually coming together for an issue? A lot of people were just shocked basically just by the names alone and who really kind of addressed Bobby Kotick. Contract or not, 6 months is bullshit. I agree. I don't think 6 months was the proper amount of time, but I do understand kind of why they're trying to uphold it because he did have a contract, but I understand what you guys are saying. Elsewhere in the letter, the legislators cite an employee walkout in protest of Blizzard's decision and calls for boycotts of the company amongst gamers around the world as additional reasons for Blizzard to reverse itself. We've seen since the situation started, people saying hashtag boycott Blizzard. The situation's grown quite a lot. People are boycotting Blizzard, even like it says employees have voiced their distaste with the company that they work for, which in tail could end up with them losing their job if they were too vocal, even though Blizzard says every voice matters. That's pretty bullshit. But this letter also makes reference to similar decisions by Apple and the NBA to shut down apps in public discussion of the Hong Kong protests under Chinese pressure, decisions that have drawn their own congressional letters in turn. Because your company is such a pillar of the gaming industry, your disappointing decision could have a chilling effect on gamers who seek to use their platform to promote human rights and basic freedoms, the letter says. As China amplifies its campaign of intimidation, you and your company must decide whether to look beyond the bottom line and promote American values, like freedom of speech and thought, or give in to Beijing's demands in order to preserve market access. Now, I have been someone that has said this, and I know that a lot of people have been saying this. It's difficult because he was in a gaming event. It might have not seemed like the proper place to voice your concerns, to voice your political opinions. I understand people that are saying that, but I definitely think that the response that Blizzard made was disproportionate. I definitely think his punishment that he received was wrong. Even though it wasn't the proper place to do it, it is not like he was calling for violence or it was a big call to action. Yes, he did say liberate Hong Kong, but I just think that they acted like he actually physically did something when he didn't. The letter comes after Blizzard canceled a recent public event to promote the launch of Overwatch on the Switch and ahead of the planned protests of the company at November's BlizzCon fan gathering. Blizzard has actually canceled a couple of events at this point. It wasn't just the Overwatch event. They actually canceled another event, but, Blizzard right now is... they're making a lot of wrong moves, honestly. I don't know why you didn't put a message in, but thank you for the $3.57 donation rent. I very much so appreciate it. No message for us, I suppose. Thank you. I think that Blizzard is trying to protect themselves, and they're doing it in every wrong way possible. I think that the ways that they're trying to protect themselves are just bad. I understand that they are trying to make it so they cancel these events so a situation doesn't happen. They don't have protesters. No one's showing up in Winnie the Pooh costumes and, May Hong Kong cosplays. But I think they need to accept the fact that people are very upset. People are not going to forgive them very easily, and that is going to happen. And just because it doesn't happen at, say, a launch event for Overwatch, it's going to happen at BlizzCon. This could not have happened at a worse time for them because of BlizzCon. I mean, this is their largest yearly event that is in 2 weeks at this point. It's like November, 3rd, I believe? The first weekend in November. It's going to happen, Blizzard. You need to accept it, and you need to figure out what you're going to do to rectify how consumers feel. And yes, switching from a year to 6 months and not taking his prize money away does fix the situation in a lot of people's minds and does help the situation. But it's going to happen. There are going to be people in Winnie the Pooh t-shirts and in May cosplays. It's going to happen, Blizzard. They have completely spiraled the situation out of proportion just by their simple statements. I mean, they said on one hand that China had no influence on our decision, yet on another hand they posted on their Chinese social media, "We will defend the pride and honor of China at all costs," which that's a theory in of itself, because some people think that it was actually NetEase running that Chinese social media account, though there's no confirmation on that. But either way, their statements and their actions are two completely different sides of the spectrum. Blizzard was also forced to punish a college Hearthstone team this week for flashing a sign in support of the Hong Kong protesters during a live stream match. On one hand, I am upset that the Hearthstone team, of course, did receive repercussions for doing this, but because I honestly don't think that Blitzchung should have received a punishment. I don't think they should have received a punishment, but I am glad that on the other hand, that even though they are punished, they're enforcing the rules equally. So kind of take that as it is. The article ends off with, "The game industry at large is separately facing congressional pressure over selling in-game items via randomized loot boxes. A bipartisan group of senators, including sweeping legislation to ban the practice, and the FTC continues to look into it following pressure from Senator Maggie Hassan, DNH." I think that we're going to continue to see people and lawmakers kind of voice their concern on this problem. I don't think that this is going to go away for Blizzard. I think that going into BlizzCon is going to be a huge thing. We're going to have to see how Blizzard's going to react to that. But ultimately, I think that we're going to continue to see this. I don't think that people are just going to stop speaking up after BlizzCon, and I think that because of how poorly Blizzard acted throughout the whole situation thus far, it's not just going to die down for them. Obviously, we could see from like the day that it happened, or even the day that they made their response to now, it has died down quite a bit on social media, but it will die down for a week or two, and when it comes to BlizzCon in 2 weeks, it will start right back up again, and people will be back to voicing their concerns. But that is the problem. People need to keep pressure on these companies. If you think what Blizzard did was shitty, you need to be keeping your pressure on them. You need to not support them. You need to voice your concerns on social media. I mean, that's a way that everyone has at this point. You have a social media platform that you can voice it. And yes, maybe they don't directly see your message, but if they're seeing so many messages of the same, type, they'll eventually get the picture. And I just think that at BlizzCon, it's not going to be any better for them. I think that they have handled this situation honestly worse than a lot of companies would, and I honestly expected Blizzard to do better than this. I expected Blizzard to do better than this, honestly. And now we're also getting news that Blizzard has a bunch of things that they're pulling out of their hat for BlizzCon. Because of all this negative press, because they want good press, we're being kind of told at this point that leaks that they have planned like Diablo 4 being announced, which isn't a shock. I think that everyone kind of expected Diablo 4 to be announced at BlizzCon this year, but there's also the rumor that they are announcing the Diablo 2 remake or remaster. I'm not sure which it is. There is that news at this point. I think it's a remaster. There's that news at this point that they are going to be talking about that. I mean, we are being told at this point that they are pulling out of their hat every move that they can make. Like the next 6 months of good press that they had, they're going to all throw into BlizzCon because they need that positive feedback from people. At this point, their numbers in sales probably are down. I mean, looking at in 4 days, they have, it's all a rumor. Yeah, remake is a rumor. Like I said, who really knows what they'll announce if they'll announce it, but, I mean, we're 4 days away from Modern Warfare's release, and I'm sure that they've lost a lot of pre-orders from that, and they're going to lose a lot of sales from that. We are going to see them hurt if, I mean, of course, they're probably not going to tell you their sales, but in 4 days, they could really be hurting for sales if that launch does not go the way that they want. And I'm sure that they've kind of lowered their expectations after all of this has happened. But, you know, they have to get back on the right track for them, for their business. And who really knows how they're going to do that, besides trying to save all the press that they can and put out every positive piece of information that they can out there. Whether that is with new games, maybe even if we look at Diablo 2 a remake, even if they haven't even started it, that doesn't mean they can't announce it. They could literally walk into BlizzCon and announce tons of different things that they weren't even planning to announce for 6 months to a year, maybe even ideas that were just in the back of their mind. All they have to do is show like a logo. They only have to show like a quickly made logo. They've had maybe from the day that all of these Blitzchung things started, they've had maybe a month. They could create 2 or 3 logos for different content that maybe it was just an idea and then just announce it because, yeah, you guys won't see it for 4 years, but right now it's going to save our ass because that's positive press for us. Let me check chat really quickly. Riot Games can see the blood in the water. They announced a bunch of projects, even a card game. Yes, I am actually going to talk about Riot Games tonight and all of their new IPs and all of their new projects, which you also have to consider with something like Riot Games. They are 100% owned by Tencent. So, yes, it seems pretty fishy that they'd announce everything now when all of this negativity is going around in the wake of the Blizzard situation. But how long have they really been working on everything? Yes, Blizzard can throw out whatever they want. There's still going to be protests at BlizzCon, but they need their positive feedback to be higher than their negative feedback, and that's all they can hope for with announcing all of these projects. Vera/current WoW players, have you noticed an actual dip in online players as a result of Blizzard's fiascos? No. And I'm gonna say it. There has to be a huge number of players that play their games and don't actually watch social media, don't watch YouTube, don't do any of that. They just play the game they like. You know what they do? They just sweep the problems to the side. I have seen large streamers, let's name one, for instance, Asmongold. He is a large streamer. He plays World of Warcraft. That is his livelihood. I don't blame him for, of course, not boycotting Blizzard. But he has said, I'm going to continue to play World of Warcraft because this is going to blow over, and this is a game I've put 15 years into, and this is my livelihood, which I'm not saying he shouldn't play it. That's his prerogative. He's made a living off of it. But there are a lot of players and streamers that have even said this is going to blow over. I've supported Blizzard as a company since its inception, basically. Just because they make one bad move doesn't mean I'm going to boycott them or stop playing their products. And I mean, even looking at me, I love a lot of Blizzard products. It's broken my heart to see all of this happen with Blizzard because I love a lot of their titles and a lot of their games, but I think that there is such a majority of players, such a huge percent of players, that don't care what happens. As long as the game is still good, and as long as they're not messing up what's going on in game, people are going to continue to play it. Ever been to China, Vera? No, and I will never go there. But yeah, I mean, who really knows at this point what will happen and continue to happen for the Blizzard situation. Going into BlizzCon, I expect them to throw any ammunition that they can into BlizzCon, announce literally anything they can. If, of course, something else happens with Blizzard or anyone else attacks Blizzard, I definitely will talk about it again. But I do, of course, don't want to continue to push the issue. I don't want to annoy people with creating constant videos on it, but it is important to me, and I do still want to talk about it. But if you did not see today's video on a Magic the Gathering player doing something very similar to Blitzchung and not receiving the same punishment as Blitzchung by Wizards of the Coast, please go and check that video out. It was the video from today. Alright, time to get into the second topic of the day. Now that Blizzard is done, I will take a second. I hope Blizzard takes it as a learning experience. I mean, on one hand, should Blizzard, a company that's been around for how many years now, this is a pretty big learning experience for them. If they don't take this as a learning experience, the next time we see something like this happen, it could hurt their company. It could kill their company. I mean, I know that Blizzard is such a big company at this point, but no company is, no company can avoid public opinion, and if the public opinion is very negative about you and your company could go under just like many other companies. So, we have to consider that. Yes, on to another Activision problem today. We are going to talk about Modern Warfare. Now, it's actually not, well, I'm not going to say it's not negative. It depends on how you view it, but Activision has swapped loot boxes for a battle pass system, and all around, Modern Warfare is looking very different compared to even Black Ops 4. Activision has confirmed its post-launch plans for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and they're generous, to say the least. I am really happy to hear this part. There is a lot here that I feel very positive about and that I am very happy about. First of all future maps and new modes will be released for free. You will not have to pay for a season pass. I think that that is huge. You do not have to pay $20 per DLC release, and you also do not have to pay for maps. You do not have to in this game, which we've seen with many other Call of Duty titles. There also will not be any loot boxes or season pass, like I said, and the game will feature cross-play across all platforms. A lot of this is sounding good. It's a major departure from previous games in the series. They have decided to go for the Battle Pass system, which, I mean, a lot of games now are opting for. I mean, in Magic the Gathering Arena, there's like a Battle Pass system, which is called the Mastery system. Each level, you get a cosmetic item. Yes, you get booster packs sometimes, and that's practically what, I mean, Fortnite has a season, like a Battle Pass type system. You get like cosmetics and whatnot from it, and that is what they are putting in the Battle Pass. It is going to be as far as they've said, who knows if it'll turn out this way, that it will be 100% cosmetic items in the Battle Pass. Modern Warfare will still have an in-game economy though. New base weapons and functional attachments can be earned through gameplay, while a Battle Pass system and in-game store will carry a selection of cosmetic content that won't impact game balance, according to Activision. That is huge. That is huge. Because on one hand, we have to believe them, because this is what they're saying, but on another hand, don't fucking believe Activision. It's kind of that odd line there, because it's like, do you want to believe them and what they're saying, that, yeah, there won't be, like, this pay-to-win mastery system? Or on another hand, do you kind of look at their track record and say, well, your track record is bad. Do we really want to believe you? The Battle Pass will also give players the chance to earn Call of Duty points through gameplay, although it won't be live when the game launches next week. I thought that was I think that this is a pretty iffy statement here. That the Battle Pass will not be available when the game launches. Activision said it will roll out in conjunction with post-launch live seasons, which will come with its own themed content, which means everyone will start the game on an even footing. I think that's good, that they're not making it so, like, yeah, if you play day one, you get the Mastery Pass, you, like, have the Battle Pass, you have a bunch of things, but that's iffy. I think it is iffy when a company does not put all of the content, or at least a little taste of the content for the future, in the game at release. That could potentially be really bad, because they could change their mind in a couple months and they already have those initial sales. Because, like me, if I bought this game and I went to the game and I saw a bunch of pay-to-win stuff, I would refund it, because you can get a refund after, like, under 10 hours of play or whatever. So this is pretty iffy. So after the holiday season, we are actually going to see things like this be implemented into the game, which could be very negative things, so you really have to be careful with it. If there's free maps, how many do you think they'll put out? I think that they will put out 4 rounds of DLC. So probably 2, like, multiplayer maps per. And then maybe, like, a little bit of story content each launch. I'm not sure if they're going to be adding to the story, or if the story when it launches is what it is. Who knows? But I guess we'll see. How these plans play out in practice has, of course, raised some questions, but Activision addressed player concern in its announcements. They said, understandably, there are still questions around how the economy will evolve throughout the post-launch live seasons. We recognize this will take time to fully demonstrate. I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to like. I understand that companies need to make money, and I was okay with paying for DLC. Listen, I know the word free is amazing. I think that it's great that they are offering you free content, but when they need more sales to keep the game alive. I personally would rather see no microtransactions at all, besides maybe cosmetic ones, and have to pay for the season pass. In Black Ops 4, I paid for the season pass. It was $60. I am okay with paying like a $60 season pass to get like 4 or 5 rounds of DLC, like games started out. I mean, if we look at games they started out, that is just me as someone that puts hundreds of hours into games. Obviously, someone else might see that differently, which is perfectly okay. The debate about how games should monetize inside the game, I should say, is always up for debate. And I'm definitely, willing to different ideas, but so far from the systems we've seen with, like, microtransactions, having to buy items that affect in-game play, and, proper DLC releases, I personally think that the traditional DLC releases and maybe buying a season pass is a lot better than some of the other, methods we've seen. Companies need to make money post-launch, and I completely understand that. And if it's a good game and a good company, I'm willing to give them my money. I just don't want to be tricked and scammed out of my money. I don't want them to say, you have to buy this microtransaction even though it's $30 and that's not really micro. I would rather, give them a little bit of money to get something that's good and that's not going to turn out to be predatorily monetized. That's all we know right now, though. A lot of what's surrounding Modern Warfare is pretty positive, honestly. It hurts to say. Modern Warfare, so far, the game, first of all, was pretty good when I played it during the open beta, because I had pre-ordered it. I played the open beta like 2 months ago. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. So far, a lot with this game is seeming pretty damn positive. It seems like they are kind of listening to what people are saying at this point, and, that doesn't really help. On one hand, it doesn't really help people that are pretty on the fence with Blizzard right now, but it helps Blizzard because they are putting out what seems to be a decently, good product. Obviously, in a couple of months, we'll know. With Call of Duties, it's kind of like buy at your own risk. If you purchase like a Call of Duty game on release, who knows what you're really going to get. That's kind of with any game though at this point, because they can change their monetization systems and you don't really know what you're purchasing, because they say in a couple months we're going to implement some new system, and then who really knows what they're going to implement until they finally do, and it's pay to win and you get nothing good out of it. Yes, I agree with you, Reloaded. It's Activision, so please take it with a grain of salt. You have to consider the company that you're purchasing from. Rhett, a truckload of salt. Obviously, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. be careful. I say that with any game, though. I usually am someone that doesn't pre-order games. I say wait a couple of weeks. It's not gonna go anywhere. But, yeah, that's all we really know with Modern Warfare right now. They are getting rid of the traditional loot box system for a battle pass system, though who knows if eventually down the road they'll put, like, a slightly different take on the loot box system in. Who really knows? But yeah. Let me, check chat for a second here. I still trust CD Projekt Red. I mean, I on one hand still do trust, CD Projekt Red, but on another hand, I mean, I don't really want to trust any company at this point. Every company has kind of shown their dark side in a way to consumers. It's kind of one of those things where it's, okay, you, obviously, if you ever want to play a game or product, you need to trust the company a little bit. But on another hand, how much do you really want to trust them? Cyberpunk is the only game in the near future that has me interested right now. I am pretty interested with Cyberpunk, though that is a game that I'm kind of waiting to see more information on. It looks really good. It sounds really cool. It sounds innovative, but I'm someone that really has to kind of, I have to see the meat of the product that they're trying to sell me. Even like Elder Scrolls, like seeing the 10-second trailer or the 10-second teaser of Elder Scrolls with the side of the freaking mountain. Yeah, it's cool, but I'm not going to get excited for it until I actually see the content that I'm paying $60 for. Side note, I think that when Elder Scrolls comes out, it's going to be a $80 game. If it turns out to be an $80 game, guys, I've said it right here, right now, October 21st, 2019, I think it's going to be an $80 game. I've heard some theories on that, but that's not what we're talking about today. I always buy games based on the company. I am someone that gives companies a chance to change. So I do give companies a chance. Even if they fucked up a lot, if they change what they're, what they've done, and they change their mindset on things, and they've obviously made proof of that. I am someone that is willing to forgive a company and try to move past it. It better not be 80, forget that. This is my theory, guys. Elder Scrolls, next Elder Scrolls, $80. Even if video games are still $60, $80 for the base. It's my theory. Alright. Hey Vera, might be in Boston in 2 weeks. You should let me know, Kyoji. We could play some Magic the Gathering. Tencent will buy literally everything. I mean, there is that worry, yeah. $80 is like minimum wage here in Brazil. I hope it's not true. We'll see. Alright guys, the next topic I wanted to discuss was Riot. In the wake of the Blizzard situation, Riot has announced 10 new League of Legends projects. Now, if you do not already know, Riot Games is owned 100% by Tencent. 100% by Tencent. Happened a couple of years back. So, this is odd timing, I want to say, for Riot to suddenly announce 10 new League of Legends games. 10 projects, really. But they've announced quite a lot. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of League of Legends, Riot is celebrating its hit title by expanding the franchise and more. That includes League of Legends Wild Rift, a 5v5 version of the MOBA that will be played on consoles and mobile devices. Riot promises it's no port. Wild Rift is a new game that's supposedly built from the ground up, with twin stick controls and matches made to last 15 to 18 minutes when it launches next year. 5v5. Oh, guys, wait! I have an ad for Stadia. Wait, Stadia launches soon. Guys, please donate so I can buy a Stadia. Why am I getting a Stadia ad? Okay. Oh, now it's Sprint. Never mind. A game that is getting a port, which was interesting, is its 8-year auto chess battler Teamfight Tactics. The mobile game will launch Q1, and interested players can pre-register on Google Play starting today. I didn't pre-register because I want to see it first. New sets of champions and abilities will come to the game every 3 or 4 months. I thought that was interesting. Instead of saying, like, new champions and abilities per quarter, they're saying every 3 to 4 months. On PC and mobile, with the first set, dubbed Rise of the Elements, scheduled to arrive on November 5th. I don't know why they didn't announce this sooner. I feel like this project maybe should have been announced 2 or 3 months ago, but who knows. The main League of Legends game is getting new touches too, with a new support character, Senna, how do you say it, who will join the public beta servers on October 29th and the live servers on November 10th. Again, I feel like maybe they should have announced this stuff like a month ago. They're running a little late on announcements here. There are new Rise of the Elements tweaks on their way here too, in the promise of ultra rapid fire mode for a limited time. And word that 9 albums full of music. No comment. From the game, seasons are going live on streaming services starting today. Are the donations popping up? Also, did the stream just pause? That was bizarre. YouTube said the stream paused. I hope that the picture's popping up. Here's $1 to not buy Stadia. Thank you, Rhett, for the $1 donation. I very much so appreciate it. $1 towards not buying Stadia. If one of you guys wants to donate $2 towards buying Stadia, you can beat Rhett and be on the opposing side. No one here needs Stadia. We all need Stadia. It's gonna be the best thing since sliced cheese. Someone donate $2 to challenge Rhett in his authority. Finally, as thanks for existing players, a call to any lapsed fans out there. There will be prizes for simply logging in every day for 10 days starting October 17th. Okay, you guys can donate. If you donate, please put not Stadia or for Stadia, please. We'll tally it up at the end. I used to play League of Legends. I used to be kind of a fan of League of Legends. I never really was like someone with Riot being kind of sold and everything that, looking more into that wasn't a good situation, but, I mean, it's a good game for what it is. The League of Legends card game spin-off will launch fully in 2020 on PC and mobile. Card game, guys. It's another free-to-play game which will bend cards based on League characters as well as new ones made just for Runeterra. Hopefully this works out better than Valve's Artifact effort, and those interested in trying it out can pre-register now. Every company is trying to launch a digital card game. Every single company is trying to launch a card game as a companion to whatever franchise they own. And guess what? It's not gonna fucking work. I'm sorry for being the bearer of bad news here, but this game looks like a mixture between Hearthstone. These companies really think that they can compete with Hearthstone in MTG Arena. It is not going to happen. I think that it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that it looks bad, but I literally could just go and play Gwent. It looks the same. I could go play her. I'm not going to play Hearthstone now. I'm not going to play Hearthstone. I play MTG Arena. I stream it once a week, sometimes more. I play Arena in my off time. I love MTG Arena because I love Magic the Gathering. But every company is trying to put out a digital card game as a companion to, like, their main IP. So this is like a League of Legends card game. I'm just not buying it. I am not convinced. I mean, we have the Elder Scrolls one. There's so many, and I'm just not convinced. I don't know why they think that they can compete in this market, but this market is closing because there's so many companies trying to do the same. It looks cool, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's gonna go. Digital card games only have so many Right. I mean, you have to consider, not every player is going to play every card game. I am not going to play Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering Arena, League of Legends card game. I'm not going to play Gwent. I'm not going to play Artifact. I'm not going to play all of these games at once, because ultimately they're all very similar in a lot of ways. Yes, they might differ from, like, special mechanics and whatnot, and, like, the cards might be different. Yes, some card games have very different aspects, but even this looks like a literal clone of Hearthstone and MTG Arena. And Gwent, it looks like a clone. I could play the version that came first and the version that is most likely better. I, of course, am a digital card game player. I like digital card games, but I think that the market is becoming too saturated right now with them. Far too saturated. After the card game market is depleted, they will move to Pokemon Go. Blizzard will announce their World of Warcraft Pokemon Go game at BlizzCon. Oh no, please don't. No. In non-game news, Riot discussed Arcane, an animated series that will launch next year, and will follow through 2 of the characters. A League of Legends Origins documentary is now available for streaming on Netflix. I actually haven't watched that. I should watch that. I should. New games. League of Legends Esport Manager allows players to sim the experience of guiding a team through the game's tournament scene and will launch next year. 3 more efforts are more secretive. I mean, look at how many things they announced all at once. All at once, Riot? This is a lot. Project A is a stylish, competitive, character-based tactical shooter for PC, and next year the company will unveil more about its cast of lethal characters in the near-future Earth setting, but for now you can enjoy a brief preview video. Project L is a League of Legends fighting game spin-off that we heard about this summer, while Project F is a very early development project that explores the possibilities of traversing the world of Runeterra with your friends. This is the trailer. Honestly, it's pretty convenient that they announced all of these things the same week that all of the blitzchumping situation was going on. They announced it because they know they're owned 100% by Tencent and people aren't going to support that. They know that they have to make some pretty damn good announcements to get players to not look at them and go, wait, aren't you owned by a Chinese company? Donations broke. What do you mean What do you mean donations broke? It doesn't say there's a donation. Project F, like my donation. Frank, you donated? Why isn't it popping up? Oh, wait, it's here now. Wait, there's 2 donations. Oh, damn. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I had to click it. Why do I have to click it?
Vara, language young lady.
Wow.
Don't buy Stadia.
Did
$4.
you guys just hear how Siri's clone just said my name? That was pretty creepy. Don't buy $4 to not buying Stadia. And Frank...
Google Stadia rules.
Alright, Frank, you're gonna have to up it by $1.01 if you wanna face Rhett. Thank you, Rhett, for your $3 donation. $4 to not buying Stadia, and $3 to buying Stadia. Oh my god. Thank you for the $3 donation, Frank. I very much so appreciate it. Thank you both for your donations tonight. Thank you. 3 to 4. I see, Frank, you did $3 on the Streamlabs website, but, I mean, technically, Rhett, you're still winning. Look, this game is obviously in super early development, It looks neat. But it looks like a shell of a game, which obviously they'll probably change it around more. You know, it's not supposed to release for a year, but I just think that this whole releasing or announcing 10 new League of Legends games is huge to do all at once, and it seems pretty suspicious that it's happening at the same time as the Blitzchung situation is. I think it's just so people don't go boycott Riot because they're a Chinese-owned company. It's kind of that fine line of what do you do when Tencent owns stakes in so many companies? Do you boycott all of these companies? Do you boycott specific products? That's a thing, is like when so many companies have like 5%, 10%, 15%, even 100% owned by Tencent, what do? Do you boycott all these companies, or do you just selectively play a selective assortment of their games? Tencent will buy every PC in the world and ban it so we all have to use phones only. Hey, what do you guys not have phones? Whew. Blizzard, what a statement. But I don't know where Riot is going with this. I don't know why they'd announce 10 things at once besides trying to keep positive eyes on them, but that is all that we know right now. We really know nothing. We only really saw a tiny bit of gameplay for some of their titles, and so for, you know, some of the next titles within the next couple of years, so who really knows where that's going to go. I am a fan of some of Riot's games. I do like League of Legends itself, but I obviously don't really play it. I have so many other games I could play. I don't really play it. I don't work for Blizzard. Are you sure, producer, that you don't work for Blizzard? Sounds pretty suspicious. Boycott everything that is majority owned by Tencent. I mean, you have to consider there's not many companies that are majority owned by Tencent in the gaming industry. I mean, even looking at Epic, they own 40% of Epic, or stakes in Epic, so, you know, it's that fine line of 60-40. Yeah, technically, they're not majority owned, so it's a pretty, it's a pretty fine line there. Alright, the next topic we are going to discuss is the PlayStation 5 dev kit. A picture has appeared, you guys. A picture! Let me read through this article really quickly. The first real photo of a PlayStation 5 dev kit appears. That's it, alright. That's it, alright. The first real image of the PS5 development kit shows that the renders I have been reporting on have been indeed real, showing that the awesome V-shaped design that doesn't just look good, but it should be much better for keeping the high-end internals cool. I mean, I see that, but I think this thing looks awful. I think this thing looks awful. I think that it looks like the gun that you get in Halo, that you just... It's a V. I think it looks like a Halo gun. You can see this prototype one and not for resale. And it has the on/standby, reset, eject system buttons. Don't expect the system and the network buttons on your PS5 when it launches in December 2020, however. It's a very short article because all we have is the picture. But I wanted to talk about this because people need to calm down about the next-gen consoles. Whenever there's any little thing that's announced, whether it was a leak or info, no matter how weak the leak or the info is, all you hear about is people freaking out about it. People are up in arms, like, this is the future, this is, they will grab onto any little thing. I'm not saying that people can't be excited. Obviously, we're in the gaming industry. One of the huge things in the gaming industry is technology. Obviously, you look at next-gen consoles, you look at the next generation of games, of technology. I completely understand it. But at the same time, you should I'm not saying you should, but I kind of expect people more so to appreciate the technology that exists. It is not like we are going from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 like it is going to be some gigantic gap in technology. It's not like we're going from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 5. There is no huge gap in technology. I just think that people need to appreciate the technology that kind of exists. I think it's pretty silly when people get completely up in arms about something like this. Everyone is freaking out about a picture. A picture! They're like, this thing is ugly, or it's beautiful, this is magic, this is the PlayStation 5. No, it's not. Do you guys remember the PlayStation 3 dev kit? It was literally in a VCR. The PlayStation 4 was like practically a VCR as well. It was just a big clunky box that said PlayStation on it. This is not how the console itself is going to look. Yeah, this is a pretty out there dev kit, honestly. This is a pretty Tron looking PlayStation. And I think that, yeah, on one hand, it does look kind of cool. But YouTubers and content creators and just people in general need to stop kind of freaking out about a picture. It's a leak. It's not like we actually have the specs leaked. Any little thing, whether it is, you know, a picture, or there's news, like with phones, about not having, you know, an aux slot. Every little thing is a freak out. I just think it's kind of silly, in a way. Appreciate the technology we have. It's not like we're going from the PlayStation 1 to a PlayStation 5. Yes, it's exactly mundane. It's a dev kit. None of us are ever going to touch it. And yes, it does give you more information towards the product that you will get if you buy a PlayStation 5 in a couple of months and a year. Obviously, yeah, some things are important if there are, you know, actual specifications leaked. But I think that everyone clings to this information like you're never going to hear the information again. And I just think it's a little silly. You know, that's at least my opinion on it. It's at least my opinion on it. My PlayStation 3 is my DVD player. They literally put the PlayStation 3 innards in a VCR holder. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But yeah. That's all that I really wanted to mention with it. Obviously, you guys can see the picture. I'm leaking the picture to you guys right now. We still don't have any real specs for it. We don't even know what's inside of the dev kit. We don't know the specs for it. There was nothing, like, no one, the person that has it didn't, like, take it apart and, like, make videos on it or anything. It's just a dev kit. I guess we'll see in a year when it comes out if it looks like this Tron-looking V machine. I'm sorry. This thing looks, it looks interesting. It looks interesting. Right, the PlayStation 3 is a jump ahead of the PlayStation 4, but it's not such an insane gap. Like, it's unworldly. There are all 4 previous consoles stacked upon each other. Yeah, this is the cake topper, you guys. Compared to all the other ones that were just boxes, this is the cake topper. Oh, look, it's a PlayStation 5 over there. Everybody run. I mean, exactly. Exactly. It looks like Wally's head. I mean, we could sit here and roast this thing all day. It's hilarious. Anyway. Continuing on, we are going to go into discussing the Atari VCS. I'm sorry. If you are a fan of the VCS, very sorry to, I'm very sorry, you guys. I'm about to roast the VCS yet again. Alright. I've talked about the VCS a couple of times, and we have some new news! The Atari VCS architect has quit the project, claiming that he hasn't been paid for 6 months. I mean, do you guys need more proof that it's fake? Okay. Special report. The architect of Atari's much-delayed retro console, the Atari VCS, has quit the project, claiming he hasn't been paid in 6 months. The architect, one of the most important people that could be working on the project. One of the most important people that could be working on the project. The departure could end in could put the entire affair in doubt. Games industry veteran, one of the founding team members behind the Xbox, the Atari system architect Rob Wyatt told the Register, "As of Friday, October 4th, I've officially resigned as the architect of the Atari VCS. Morse like, the Atari doesn't exist." He claimed that Atari hasn't paid invoices going back over 6 months to his design consultancy, which was working on the VCS, adding, "As a small company, we have been lucky to survive this long." How much money did they make off of a Kickstarter, by the way? Just saying. It is unclear whether Atari would be able to complete its project without Wyatt. It only received a prototype motherboard last month. I mentioned that on a live stream. And Wyatt and his team were in the middle of debugging it before deciding to draw stumps and quit. This is a big piece of news for the Atari VCS. The task of finalizing the hardware will likely fall into Surface Inc., another company that Atari has contracted to complete the console. They have not responded to multiple requests for comment, which really doesn't sound that good. I almost skipped a line here. I was hoping to see the project through to the end and that it wouldn't come to this, but I have little choice other than to pursue other opportunities. Obviously, if you're not getting paid, then understandable. He denied the decision to walk had anything to do with him forming another company, the Last Game Board, to develop a tabletop video game system. The recent announcement by me being a co-founder and CTO of the Last Game Board had nothing to do with this decision. The claim of lack of payment echoes another dispute involving Atari. In July 2018, the troubled business was sued by the man who first proposed the Atari VCS as a modern system, as a modern version of the classic 2600 console. This is crazy. He claimed Atari had reneged on a deal to give him a 4% cut of crowdfunding revenues over $200K plus 25% of limited company setup to launch the console, and shares in the Atari company. I mean, what is the Atari VCS at this point? Can I just ask? If this machine... Alright, let's put it this way. Wait. This comment. 3 months later, in March 2018, Atari suddenly announced it would be at the annual Games Conference. The register attended and was surprised to find only a few empty boxes and no working models. Because there is no working models. Because it's fake! Okay, let's be honest. This sums up the whole situation that's happened over the past couple of months, but look at this. Here's the short version of our 2-week investigation. The Atari VCS will be extremely limited as a console. It is effectively a $250-ish PC in a nice-looking retro box. Atari's main architect has quit, claiming he has not been paid in months. That's crazy. Penny pinching throughout the development process has resulted in a range of bad decisions that effectively prevents the Atari VCS from calling itself a dedicated games console. No original game developers have signed up to the VCS 2 years after launch, and they are unlikely to in the future either. There will be no native apps, and services like Netflix will be accessed through a modified browser, and the VCS is unlikely to hit its March 2020 deadline and may never, in fact, launch. That's just a great end to it. Honestly, what is the VCS going to be if it launches? If it exists, it's practically just a Linux machine. Who really knows at this point if it will launch? I honestly don't think it's going to launch. I think that I have said this. I was hopeful at first. I thought maybe it was real. I thought maybe I was giving hope to it because they had so much crowdfunded money go into this project, but it honestly at this point just sounds like it's not real. I mean, this is the situation with this is that this puts that negative mindset into people, because why would you, when bad thing after bad thing happens with like a crowdfunded system, no one is going to want to back a crowdfunded system because situations like this happen. You learn not to trust people because they give you no reason to trust them. Sold your console, best console? Oh yeah, 100% agree. 100,000% agree. Why announce it when it might fail? Because they needed to announce it for the money, and then they made the money off of it, and they're going to run away with the money. It would have cost the same as the Nintendo Switch. It would have failed even if it could launch. VCS will just be some lame Linux machine that runs games from Steam and GOG. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It really doesn't sound like if this thing launched, it would be amazing. It doesn't sound that way. Like I said, I really gave it a fair chance. I wanted to give it a fair chance. But if they literally, last month, just showed a motherboard, a prototype for it, how do you expect this thing to be launched in March? It's supposed to launch in March. How is it supposed to... How? I'm legitimately curious. I've never heard of a company creating a video game system and putting it out in, 4 months, 5 months. yeah, they're gonna run with the money. No, it's not even funny because they are just gonna run with the money. And, you know, it's gonna be another scam situation and everyone's going to now, well, obviously you should view Atari negatively, but people are going to view Kickstarters more negatively. That's the problem. When a crowdfunding situation like this happens, you are going to view it negatively. You are going to worry, why should I back this project when other projects have happened where the company just runs away with the money and doesn't actually give you a product? It makes people worry. It makes, you know, consumers worry. A proto board that I bet doesn't even boot. I mean, probably not. At this point, it's the architect has quit the Atari VCS project. I don't see anything positive about the situation. I really don't. But guys, don't forget, the Stadia launches in 3 weeks. Gonna be the best console, nut console of all time. Best thing of all time. But that's all I really had to talk about with it. The situation's a mess. I don't even think that it's going to launch. I've said this from the beginning. Well, you know, the beginning of talking about it on my YouTube channel. But it just seems like negative situation after negative situation. I hope that you did not back the Atari VCS. I hope that you did not trust Atari with your money. And if you did, well, you should maybe rethink your life decisions. Maybe. It was a GoFundMe and it made over $3 million. Yeah, you can't just get a refund. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. BioWare ran with the Anthem money. They're just following the gaming industry trend. I mean, that's what a lot of companies do at this point. They put minimum effort in so they can make maximum profits. And it shouldn't be that way, but, you know, that's just kind of the way that it is. Thank you for the $10 donation, Rhett. I don't know what the link is. I would have to, check it out. What is it? Oh. Oh, no. We're not listening to the Siebert English intro. Thank you for the $10 donation, Rhett. Rhett, you didn't specify if that money was for or against a Stadia, so I'm going to put that for Frank. So Frank, your team is winning now because he didn't specify. Soldier Boy console's the best console. I'm gonna order 10 of them. I'm gonna find them on eBay and I'm gonna order 10 of them. Right? Yes. This pay to win shit. This is a pay to win chat. Yes. Frank, your team is winning. But that's all that I had to talk about for topics tonight, you guys. I will stick around and chat for about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and just chat with you guys. But if you are here for the topics, thank you for sticking around. Next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, our usual weekly talk stream. Will be the next one. That's all that I really want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about the VCS like we did, you know, the Blizzard situation more, Modern Warfare. Still an iffy situation there, Riot, and now the PlayStation 5. But I will stick around chat in case any of you guys in chat have any questions or comments that you would like to make now that it's the end of stream. I watched this stuff when I was in daycare like 30 years ago. Well, this isn't daycare, right? And this is a pay-to-win chat, and now that $10 went to Frank's team, so now Frank's team for the Stadia is winning. Thank you for stopping by, Pete. I appreciate it. The person on the left doesn't look like she had a PhD, let alone two. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Stadia will take over gaming. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna buy 5 Stadia. I'm gonna buy 5 of the Google. What are they? I'm gonna buy 5 of the. Are they branding anything Stadia besides the actual controller? I'm gonna buy 5 of everything that you need for a Stadia setup. I'm gonna buy 5 of the Founders packages. Sure. Let me math. 13 versus 4. Everyone shout out one game you think everyone should play. Is that like a hint, Daryl? Yoshi and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Everyone should play. Pillars of Eternity 2. Yes. I can get with that one. Daryl, back me up on a 15. Yeah, rest in peace, Atari VCS architect. He's done this job. He's leaving. He's out of this pay to win. He's the type of person that went in for it for the pay to win, but didn't get anything out of his loot box. He was told, yeah, you're gonna get paid. Yeah, you're gonna win the loot box lottery, and he didn't win the loot box lottery this time around, you guys. That's why he ditched. Pillars of Eternity is inferior to Divinity Original Sin? Ooh. That's a good debate. Pillars of Eternity or Divinity Original Sin, you guys? Do you accept bubblegum wrappers? No, Daryl. Unless they have jokes on them. He's like, give me my money. Here's a feather. Or they the aluminum foil ones. But, yeah, unfortunately, you know, the Atari situation's bad. I really hope that you guys did not back their crowdfunding, and you did not, crowdfund their pockets to go on a vacation. Please, if you did, I feel sorry, though. I feel like I don't really know a lot of people that did, just because a lot of people could tell from the beginning the problems that it would have. PoE and DOS are both great, no reason to fight over this, play both. I mean, if you could choose one, though. Can we kickstart the Soulja Boy console too? Yes, we're gonna... Yes. Yes, we're going to. I want to play GTA 6 on it, damn. Sounds great. I mean, I didn't even know they were doing it until you mentioned it a bit ago. Fair enough, yeah. I feel like their marketing was very bizarre, because they didn't really announce it, but they did announce it, so it's kind of that... I don't know, their marketing was really bizarre. GoFundMe should be called Run From Me? Oh no. Oh no. These jokes tonight, you guys, are great. Premium content here. Yoshi is your friend. I like Yoshi. Yeah, I like Yoshi. Not as much as Daryl does, but I like Yoshi. Yeah, for sure. Yoshi is everyone's friend. I mean, Yoshi's pretty cool. Yeah, Yoshi's pretty cool. But really quickly, to show the channel, if you are not already supporting the channel and you enjoy the almost daily content I put up, whether that is a video or live streams, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon. You can support by just donating $1 a month. It goes to equipment upgrades, new games, etc. And also you can support the channel by direct donations if you feel like it. $3 and up, you have a text-to-speech, and $10 and up, you have text-to-speech as well as a special notification. But thank you to everyone that stopped by tonight. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone that already supports the channel. It means quite a lot to me. It's very important to me that you guys believe in what I do and believe in the platform that I am trying to create on YouTube. You know, even though sometimes I encourage you guys to support fake Kickstarters like the VCS. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't encourage you guys to. But it would be pretty funny to get like a card in the mail that said, "Screw you, thanks for the cash. You lost this loot box. You lost this loot box lottery." That would be pretty funny. I mean, if they're gonna troll you, they might as well send you a piece of paper that says you lose, right? Are you going to run Final Fantasy VII Remake when it comes out? I am considering it. I might, though I'm not sure yet if I'll live stream it, but I might, for sure. Obviously, if there's games you guys want to see me play, if you want to donate towards them, even if they're far away, you can always donate towards them, and that goes towards it if I make a video on it or I live stream it, for sure. But I'm considering it. There's quite a lot of games right now that I'm considering playing. I'm starting to look into the beginning of the new year, kind of, you know, the new games that are coming out, because it's already almost the end of the year, which is shocking to me. And we have another year of many video game releases, and we also have the new generation this year, well, next year, so it's a lot to take in, especially as a gamer. Atari, you got some explaining to do. Let's riot? Wait, who's rioting? Wait, can we not riot here? I mean, you guys can riot here. Every new game comes in a loot box. It can go from common to legendary. Wow. That's pretty evil of you. Don't give them any ideas. Like, you buy a loot box and it's like you can get the standard edition. You could get a digital standard edition, a physical standard edition, and then like the collector's edition, like like all the different tiers, but then you can get like the digital versions of it. Ew. Don't give these companies any ideas, please. Seabird or Riot? Oh, there's a Riot then. I'm not looking to get copyright strike red. And we watch public openings on Twitch. Damn. Grim, the Tifa nerf is inexcusable. Poor Tifa. Or you can get duplicate games on the loot box. Guys, please don't give these companies any ideas. These are some pretty vile ideas that you guys have. I'll message you next week when I know more information on my trip. I get weekends off and I've planned on meeting up with you. Very nice. If you come to Boston, we can meet at my local game store and we can definitely play some Magic the Gathering. Would definitely be very fun. I meant in general, like, everyone watches a public opening and a game could be good or bad for everyone. Damn. Crushing my childhood between those high-heeled boots. Wait, I'm wearing high-heeled boots? Thought I didn't have legs. I'm mixed about Tifa could have been worse. I thought they'd flatten her and put her in a tracksuit. Honestly, I don't really think... Hot take, I don't think she looks that bad. I think that she still looks like Tifa. If they had changed her outfit, I would have definitely not have felt the same, but I feel like her outfit's practically the same besides the stockings, which I kind of like. And I think that she looks okay, definitely. I don't think that she looks bad. I think that Tifa still looks like Tifa. Pittsburgh, very nice. But yeah, I think that is the end of the live stream. You guys, thank you so much for stopping by the past couple of hours. I very much so appreciate it. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, there will be a Magic the Gathering edition of Titan's Table, if you guys did not know. Of course, if you watch the talk and discussion streams, the next one will be next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, per usual. I do the talk streams and discussion streams once a week, because, you know, who knows when news will pop up that I don't want to make a video on, but I really want to discuss with you guys. But I thank you for sticking around the past couple of hours. I very much so appreciate it. Rhett, Frank, thank you guys so much for your donations tonight. I very much so appreciate your donations. They all go towards the channel, and they mean quite a lot to me. But I will be in Discord if you guys want to chat the next couple of hours, for sure. I will also, of course, be in there tomorrow and whatnot. I'm usually in Discord in case you guys ever want to chat or you have any questions to ask me or even mods of the channel. Yes, the Stadia has won for the night, you guys. We will follow this up next live stream. Yes, Titan's Table. But, yes, thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight. I appreciate it. And have a fantastic night, everybody.